feels like he has to cut me down. I can see the intent of him being so malicious, and I don't understand why you would do that with your wife. I'm here trying, and I get cut.
Yes, Bao finally calls out the behavior of Johnny and tells Pastor Cal that she doesn't know why he intentionally needs to cut her down. I guess that's the first sign to knowing that your partner is probably on the abusive scale, because they're purposely now cutting you down. And actually, they're destroying the emotional safe space that is required for a relationship to have the longevity that it needs, and to have the love and the care that it needs in order to survive. Let's talk a little bit more. But first and foremost, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the what up loads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals, you got the minerals. Yeah, yes. Listen, stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot, all right? Cool. Let's get into the video, but before we do, let's get it in. You know what time it is. Yes, we had Bao call out Johnny very, very articulately when she was talking to Pastor Cal. And watch a little bit more and we'll talk some more.
Down over and over.
Okay, what are you feeling right now?
I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
And, you know, rightly so. She's feeling hurt. She's feeling frustrated. And, you know, this is, like I said, this is like the third time we've seen her kind of break down a little bit as well, because we saw this obviously with Pastor Cal the first time they spoke. We've seen it here. We saw it later on when he decides to tell her that, you know, he never wanted her, whatever. And, you know, it's crazy because, you know, Johnny has said things that are out of this world that you just wouldn't say to someone that you say that you're trying to build something with. You wouldn't say these things if you're trying to love the person. You wouldn't say these things if you understood the gravity and the impact and the consequences of your words. And so Bao has every right to be frustrated. Not only that, but hurt as well. Let's watch a little bit more of the clip.
Because I feel I went into this for the right reasons. Thank you.
Now, I'm not going to say that Johnny went into it for the wrong reasons. I don't think he went into it for the wrong reasons. Was he ill-prepared is another question. I think he was ill-prepared, and this is why I keep saying, like, this show is unique, all right? And now, obviously, it reflects real life, that people don't often have therapy and a therapist and a counselor just at hand, okay? It's not normal life. But they are on the show, and real life doesn't exist because we're in a reality TV. You're doing things that naturally wasn't happening. So there should be an injection from the therapists and the counselors. And I'm saying that from a perspective of the producers, not necessarily the therapist themselves, but the producers to get more involved, that there is a need for therapy. Okay, what Bao is calling out is something that will never be fixed by just her having shallow conversations, by just her taking sex off the table, which I kind of understand, but taking sex off the table and having shallow conversations, that's not going to fix Johnny, because Johnny's being abusive right now, right, with his words, okay, right? And the change that is going to be required for Johnny, it's got nothing to do with time. It's got everything to do with healing the wounds of his heart. He's been on 100 dates, for goodness sake, right? 100 dates, and you couldn't find one gal you want to, you know, stick with? You've got problems. Sir, yes, sirree, you've got problems. You know what I'm saying? So it's not going to change without the injection of some level of counseling or therapy to really discuss with her. You know, you're going to get a mediator in there, and it won't do much because the mediator can't really suss out the real issues that they're going through. It's going to need someone who's going to want to tackle the issues head on, right? And see it for what it is. Let's have a little bit more of the video and talk.
I just don't think he's got the emotional maturity right now to be a caring, loving husband.
And that is the key part. He does not carry the current emotional intelligence that is required to make this journey a successful one, at least not with Bao, at least, right? And he has been overly critical, verbally speaking up against her, critiquing her whenever he felt like, she's not doing this, she's not doing that, she's not this, she's not that, you need to do more of this, you need to do more of that, bad mouthing her to family and stuff like that, right? And so she has every right to call him out. And actually later on, she actually does speak to him again and says, listen, you can't speak to me like that ever again. And if you watch his face during that scene, he wasn't happy. Which is why I told you guys, Johnny is never going to be comfortable because he sees Bao as that girl who he had power over years ago. And the way men oftentimes work, that level of power that he had, the status or the fame or whatever, he was a college boy, jock or whatever, that level that he had over her, he's never going to want to change it. He's going to want to keep that remaining status quo. He doesn't want to be vulnerable. He doesn't want to be open yet. That's why the deep conversations throw him off. He's not willing to be open. He's not ready to be deep. He's not ready to expose himself and give her any level of power to use against him. No. That's what he's thinking. I'm not going to give her no room, no ammunition to shoot me down. No. I'm going to build a wall like it's Mexico and the US. I'm going to build a freaking wall like my name is Trump. Okay? And you going to make sure you don't come past. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it light all the time. Okay, let's keep it light. Let's keep it light. But it's not going to change how he's behaving, because at the end of the day, all right, so long as it's not going the way he wants exactly, he's going to have an issue. Now, am I saying Bao is perfect? No, by a long shot, she's not perfect. But, brother, no. You know, here's what she even said. I love this part where she says this as well. Like, it's so important.
We're okay.
Is it possible then for you guys to work at that level? Let's just call it level 1 of marriage, because I assume there's no intimacy now.
No, there's nothing.
So we're going to have to go back and have shallow conversations. And it's a problem, I guess, with Married at First Sight, that you're going to get what you're going to get. But it's a very, very far de-escalation. Very similar to what I said about Michaela and Zach. You want to take sex on the table, and now you want to keep the conversations light. You can't go deep. I think that's more of a problem with him. You can't go deep. What do you mean you can't go deep? You got so much to talk about. That has to be deep. There's so much going on with you. There has to be deep. But maybe as a concession, the deep conversation that goes here becomes almost depressive, because it's always dealing with stuff that is, oh my God. Maybe it's always dealing with stuff that is, I guess, emotional trauma. And maybe that's why the conversations are not so fun for Johnny. You know what I mean? Because I also understand this point about, you know, creating a friendship and stuff like that. But you're de-escalating. You were crying out for sex, and now you want to de-escalate. And then now you're telling me now you're only comfortable with having conversations at surface level.
Okay. Let's stay at that level 1. Just play nice. Mm-hmm. Don't go deep. Let's have the light conversations, and let's see if he can surprise you by going deep himself.
I mean, I see what Pascal's saying. You know, you've got to try things to see if the marriage will work. You do have to try things. You can't just quit. So I hear him on that. You know what I'm saying? As for me, though, I'm gonna say it. I can't do a relationship where you can't go deep. I've done it once, and it was too painful. I'm not gonna do it again. Okay? I need depth. I need you to be able to have depth. Okay? No one's asking for the most intelligent person on the being on the planet. What we're asking for is someone who can go deep with you, who has no problems getting deeper into the conversation, who has no problems adding some level of depth of analysis to a situation. No problem with that. Someone who can add to that, not just talking on the surface and, you know, small chitty chat here and there. Do you get what I'm saying? Right? So I know Bao also complains about it. Let's have a look.
I really hate this because I've just never been a person that cared for chit chat. And I know early on that's how it should happen and unfold. But I've always been the kind of person to just dig.
No, she's always been the kind of person that wants to dig deep. She knows that it should unfold that way, but she's always wanted to dig deep. That's also something that she's gonna have to work on, though, right? As a concession, that is something she's gonna have to work on. She's gonna have to work on being able to give conversation which allows for progression down. Like I said, I've been in a situation before. Say it with me. I've been in a situation before, right? Actually, quite recently, where I realized I was having a conversation with somebody, and it came across like I was doing a therapy session. I was asking questions, but the questions were just like two, and I didn't realize I was doing it. So I read it back, and I was like, yeah, I wasn't light at all, and I wasn't really surfaced conversation with it. It was more like almost like a therapy session. I'm gonna have to watch that because I'm asking questions in a way like a therapist. And listen, and it's not always, look, you know, you don't realize sometimes you're doing it. You know what I mean? But you've got to be open to the fact that if someone says that you are doing that, you got to be like, hey, my bad. You know what? I don't realize I'm doing that. I need to switch it up a little bit. You know what I mean? I got to keep it light. Got to keep, conversation not so heavy. And that's cool. We can have a balance. It's good to have a balance. Being deep doesn't mean you can't come up to the surface. Because without the surface, there is no deep. You understand? You feel me? My head is looking spicy today. Everything color. Looking like this microphone right here, baby. You understand? But Bao had every right to call call himself out because he has acted abysmally. And actually, I'm really appreciative of the fact that she was aware as well that he was doing it intentionally. And she didn't look at it as, by mistake. She's conscious, she's aware, and that stands good because that means she probably won't stand for any nonsense he's going to bring long term. It's just a shame. She wants to make the marriage work, and what she's getting from Johnny right now is abysmal. It's abysmal. Appreciate you guys. Say loaded. Let us know your views down below. We